This episode of Disruption Nation is brought to you by Monica Foster of the Monica Foster Team EXP. Check it out. Blaine, we're not live yet, right? Tailway Diver Disruption Nation. Blake Baker, Remax 5-star in the house. Thank you for being here, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. And this is the first of two, and I'm going to sit in his seat on the other side because he's got a podcast he's launched. How many episodes are you in?
The next one will be our 17th episode.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. I want to try to get in there before the top 25, maybe. How often do you do them?
The original goal was one a week, but
Yeah.
it didn't quite go that way, so I just do them when I can. Like I was telling you before, it's kind of a sabbatical to my Instagram, and that's kind of the way I use it. And to network with people, I've made a lot of relationships just by people with a business. Hey, can I come on your podcast? And it's I never imagined it would kind of expand my network like it has. It's awesome. And I'm sure you know that you feel the same way.
Absolutely. I mean, I think most people should have a podcast that aren't even thinking about it. You know, it's really not too much. Yes, it's a little bit of work, but I've been telling people my strategy pretty simple. It's expanded. You know, we've added layers, but I mean, in the beginning, it's like producer and me. Shout out to Tiny Sparrow Marketing, but in studio 1 day a month, film 4 back to back to back, and just I'm done. You know, for the month. I got a month of content. I'm dropping a show every week. I'm being consistent. You know, so I did hear you say that you're doing some solo podcasts too.
So I do little short reels. I don't really do like solo podcasts. I was doing the kind of long.
Post them as a podcast though?
No. I do
Okay.
YouTube shorts on those. Like
Okay,
these are like
gotcha.
20-second little bangers.
Right. Yeah.
Because, man, I was doing the 10-minute long YouTube videos explaining how to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It'd be like 12 views, 9 views. And I was like, man, people aren't going to sit there and watch
Yeah.
a 10-minute long. They need quick. Like, we live in the age of TikTok. So it's got to be quick.
Yep. Posting tip for you because YouTube Shorts has blown up and Facebook, Shorts have a huge incentive right now just because they're trying to catch up because YouTube Shorts has blown them out of the water.
Yep. Facebook and Instagram are really pushing the reels because they got to compete with TikTok.
Yeah.
So
Big time. So, all right, let's get back to the man of the hour over here. 7 years in the real estate game. He is an annual Platinum Club member. It's 250 GCI. That's gross commission income for a number of years in a row, right?
I've hit it the last 3 years. So
All right.
yeah.
Major props. Big news. Recently engaged.
That's right.
Congratulations, sir. I was one of that moment and like realizing I was going to be a dad for the first time was probably a couple of the biggest things that happened in your life. So
Yeah, man. It's like
how does that feel? Let's pause for 2 seconds. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really expect how I felt. It was like a level of love that I feel like I didn't even know existed. Like that day was like so special.
Surreal,
Yeah,
right?
we set up a Christmas card photo shoot, and I did it during the photo shoot.
Okay.
And yeah, man, it was a life-altering experience for sure. I've never really felt that sense of love like that before. I can only imagine what having a kid's like.
Yeah, pretty similar. It's surreal. You've always kind of wanted it to come, never know that it's coming, even though you're building towards it, and then when it gets there, it's very special. So
Yeah.
very, very excited for YouTube.
Thank you, man.
What else do I have for you? Well, let's get into your business. So you were what would you do before?
So my family owned a boat and RV storage facility down in Alvin.
Okay.
I'm from League City, so everything I do is down that way.
Got it.
So, at the time it was like 150 units of boat and RV storage, and we just expanded that. And I just got to a point to where, I don't know if anybody's ever worked at a storage facility before, but it's not the most exciting job. Like,
I can imagine not.
It would be the type of deal where the 1st through the 5th of the month, you got people coming in to pay rent. And after that, it's like you get there at 9 a.m. There were days where no one would come in. And you're just like sitting in an office trailer, just like, what am I doing with my life? So Yeah, eventually just got so sick of that and felt like I was leaving my talent on the table. Like I was like, man, I know I have a talent to
I got something.
I got something in me. Like I got to try some different stuff. And my mom always told me ever since I turned 18, you should get your real estate license. You should get your real estate. And yeah, whatever. And then I was like at a point where I was like, dude, I'll do anything else besides this. So literally got on my phone right then and there, signed up for the classes, took the classes, passed the test, and got to work immediately with Remax, and history after that.
Yeah, and you went straight to Remax 5-star?
No, I was actually with Remax First Source. That office is no longer there, but
I remember.
Yeah, Kimberly was over there. Like everybody
Yeah,
at
that's what I
5-star
remember.
was there, and then
Like a huge chunk.
right, yeah, and then
Moved.
Kimberly opened 5-star, and the Remax First Source turned into a Keller Williams, and I wanted to stay with Remax, so I knew most of the people over there, and I knew Kimberly was awesome, so that was my go-to for sure.
Kimberly, shout out to you. Love your brokerage, love your team. So
She's the best.
yeah, a lot of key players over there. So I was kind of laughing to myself a second ago when you were talking about working in the storage facility and it not being the most people engaged place. Like I've got a storage unit, had one for most of my life, different locations, but the personalities of the people that are typically behind the counter are like they maybe don't talk to people very often, or they're dealing with the same complaints of people like who knows locks broke, like they're late on rent and all the BS that like any customer service and I empathize with that, but at the same time, so it's like I knowing you right, that had to have been a tough spot, man. Like I would have not been excited to go to work either.
Yeah,
So
and most of the tenants are great.
relate.
They pay their rent by credit card. They never even come into the office. Some of them pay by the whole year. But you have 1 to 2% of the people are a problem. And when you have 400 units, that's 8 to 10 people or so. I think my math is right on that are just a problem.
What are some of the problems?
Oh my gosh.
Like living there, not
Living
allowed,
in-
you're
living
not,
in the
not
u-
allowed to do that, right?
Yeah, living in the unit, throwing parties in the unit overnight, trying to open businesses out of the unit. One time I pulled around the corner and there was a lady that had her storage open with an open sign, and she had racks of clothes and people were shopping in her unit. It was like a Goodwill type situation where they were just shopping for clothes, and I was like, this is a boat storage, okay? Yeah.
Go set up shop somewhere
Yeah,
else.
and you just hear
That's
everybody's
hilarious.
sob stories, and it got old quick. I'll just say that.
I'm glad you got into real estate, man.
Yeah.
You're a people person, and you're where you need to be, and I'm proud to watch you thrive, sir.
Thank
So,
you, man.
Yes, sir. Speaking of a few other successes, so in a magazine I used to run, 240 under 40 issues, Blake Baker was featured, and then he had a panel that I moderated in his office that he was on not too long ago. That was in the last year, right?
Yeah, like a year ago or something.
Ish,
The
whatever.
top producer panel we had. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. I felt overdressed, but that's why I dressed down today.
Hey, there's no such thing as overdressed.
Yeah, that's true. That's what
I was actually wondering what I should wear here today. This is what I wear every day, so I was like,
Yeah.
I might as well give everybody the authentic Blake Baker.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I know. So, cool deal. So, business, tips and tricks. What are you doing that's working? What are you up to right now in the real estate world?
Yeah, so I've tried a little bit of everything. At first, it was just kind of working by my network, and my dad was in business in Pasadena for a long time, so I was fortunate enough to kind of be able to link up with a lot of his connections,
Sure.
and get kind of going. And then like I said, I tried a little bit of everything. I tried the cold calling. I tried, and I still somewhat do the Buffini method. I like a lot of his stuff. I found out real quick that cold calling is just not my thing. That's not really my personality. I'm not like a salesy guy. And not that there's anything wrong with being that way. I know there's a lot of people that absolutely kill it cold calling. But as far as, generating business, I just decided, okay, this is about 6 months ago, I was posting on social media, but not consistently. Not enough to get picked up by like the algorithm. So I just said, you know what, I'm posting at least one video a day, and I do quick, like I was saying, little reels with tips and tricks and little stories and just anything I think is interesting that will happen to me on the day to day. I'll just make a quick little video about it, and yeah, that's been huge for me actually.
I love hearing you say that because you're one of the few people I think I've ever heard those words come out of their mouth when those are very similar words that, you know, I've said a lot, you know, with like little daily videos, the daily disruptions that I do, and that's it, right? So a video tip, content tip is can simply be this, right? So when I committed to doing, you know, daily disruption, like a small short video, it's real similar to what you were talking about. It's like, okay, every day is different. It doesn't need to be the same place. It shouldn't be every day, or even about the same thing. It's just, you know, going through your day, whatever's genuine and natural, and depending on when it hits you. Like, I mean, there'll be days when I'm like, I'm waiting on it. I'm like, when's it gonna come? But like, you just know, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you feel it. You're like, okay, found it. You know.
Yeah,
and then it's a game. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I remember sitting there one day. I was like, okay, man, you have got to pick a lane and go all in.
Yeah.
So I was like, social media there's not really a lot of realtors with podcasts. There's not really a lot of realtors that are shooting like high quality reels and posting them every day. So why not be that guy that, you know, someone's going to do it. So why not me? And guess what, dude? Everywhere I go, like at my brother's wedding, people will not stop talking to me. Like, first thing, hey man, been seeing your videos, love your videos.
That's
Hey,
great.
you know, we're thinking about doing, and then it's like, not that I get tired of talking about real estate, but it works, dude. It implants in people's brains for sure. Because what is everybody doing all day, every day? That's where their eyes are at, dude.
That's it.
That's
Yep.
it.
I'm right there with you. It's fun. Well, let's stay on it. Let's stay on it for a minute. So, you know, what else? What other part of social are you having a good time with, or?
Dude, so TikTok is okay. So the average age of TikTok is like 19 years old, I think. So a lot of 19-year-olds really aren't going to be buying and selling a lot of properties. So
Right.
what I'll do is my main one is Instagram, and then whatever I post on Instagram, I'll post on Facebook Reels on my business page, share it to my personal page. YouTube Shorts are big. Like, dude, I'll randomly hit, you know, a couple thousand views, 5,000, 10,000 views sometimes on those.
Yeah.
And so TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts. Yeah. So I just put the same exact thing on all of those. And the one that you can really randomly catch fire on is TikTok. I've had a couple. I got one that it was just a stupid meme video I made, and it got like 679,000 views. And then I just posted one about you may have seen it. It was about that apartment in New York that's listed for $250 million.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
And yeah, dude, it's still like getting 1,000 views a day. It's at like 250 now.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I know the algorithm there is very favorable to pick up, even if they're, you know, newcomers on TikTok. I mean, I think it, you know, favors that even more so.
Yeah.
But I was with my boys and they thought it was hilarious. And there's a homeless lady, you know, it was just shot a little quick video and same thing, you know, blew up, man. It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've definitely learned what people engage with and what they don't engage with. Because I used to be like every other realtor, you know, here's the first 3 steps of buying a home. Get like, dude, no one watches. I mean, it's good information. It's good information. But
Yeah.
what you got to do is loop them in with like your quick, easy, digestible videos. And it may not even be, it may be something just crazy, like a $250 million apartment. And people are like, $250 million? Yeah, I
There's
mean,
a
it just
ton
loops
of power
them
in
in.
just sharing other you know,
and then once
viral content.
Right, and then once you make a relationship with them, then you can talk about, you know, whatever they want to do, and then educate them from there. But yeah, I learned pretty quick about like what to post and what people really kind of like and actually will watch.
Hey, what are your thoughts on this? And I'm totally cool if you disagree with what I'm about to say. So on a lot of the videos or some of the, you know, reels and stuff that I'll watch, when, you know, they're pointing, they're not talking, and then it pops up, right? It's bullet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like what you just said, you know, pre-approved, you know, free appraisal, and whatever it is they're talking about. Not just realtors do it, but I'll see, you know, other people that are posting do it. It drives me crazy, man, because like there's a lot going on. I'm trying to watch, right? Maybe it's just the way my brain works, but okay, you want me to? I'm looking here. I'm trying to size you up, you know, body language, and usually it's not long enough because they go real quick. And I think that person, although the creativity, I'll praise them for that, but they're losing the eyeballs and the interest, and the message isn't being received how, you know, maybe they want it to. I just think there's a more effective way to communicate, which is what you're talking about by saying something that is engaging. The first few seconds, the hook, right? I'm big on that. With videos, I talk about that a lot. But what are your thoughts, man? Because maybe I'm wrong.
No.
Maybe they're supporting. Maybe they can talk because a lot of times they're quiet. They're just pointing at stuff. And I'm
Well,
like,
there's
stop doing that shit.
Yeah, two problems with that. One, when you're making videos, you've got to imagine in your brain, okay, I've got to make a video that the laziest user on this platform will sit and watch. People don't want to read a lot. They don't, if it doesn't hook them within the first really 2 to 3 seconds, they're next. The other problem with that is nobody, when I'm talking directly into the camera and telling personal stories and doing it that way, people can kind of see my personality a little bit. And I
That's
think,
important.
yeah, if they can link
That's
a personality with like a face and feel like they kind of are getting to know you in a way. Like, dude, think about like the Joe Rogan experience. Don't you feel like you know Joe Rogan?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you feel like you know him as like a friend, but you don't. So, yeah, I mean, if you make it very personal like that, and don't just post all real estate, like, I post like at the gym and hobbies and stuff like that, and not that people care, but I think it just
You get
helps
to know
you.
who you are.
Yeah, it lets them know like what I'm into, what I'm doing, and it's anything to stay engaged with your audience, man. And yeah,
Yeah, I got a friend. Well, I mean, I'll give him a shout out. It says Anthony Cordor and his wife Cindy or Cynthia. She kills it in real estate, and her TikTok's out of control, and she is doing real estate. But then her husband fishes. He's
I
a
think I know her.
Yeah, you probably do.
She's down where I'm at, I think.
She's on the island.
Okay.
So she's Galveston proper.
Yeah.
But I mean, in his TikTok, he's like, man, if you want to blow up, just record a video of a kid catching a fish, and you're going viral.
Yep.
Like it happens. People like watch that stuff. But I mean, I don't know, cat videos, all that stuff. So I guess say all that to say this is like you don't have to try so hard sometimes or all the time. I mean, and honestly, and this is something that I'm trying to make a big push for just in my own content is when you're posting more about like what you really give a shit about, like your stuff, it's obviously going to show through, just like you were talking about with the personality, and that's what you want people to know at the end of the day anyway, because like attracts like, and it's all more, it's better well received, better better for everything.
People can see right through if you're posting something that, say I'm explaining to everyone something I don't enjoy or care about, compared to something I do care about. Like it's people are they can see right through that. So, and the biggest thing with social media now is learning the algorithm and just consistency. Like people will post a couple videos and get 50, 100 views,
and then where'd they go?
Yeah, and then they give up, dude. I mean, it takes. I have a buddy with over 100,000 followers. He has a car page, and he's like, dude, I posted. He's backed off now because he's like getting in some other stuff, but he's like, I posted a post every day since 2012. Like that's what it takes, dude. It's not like you can just do this for a couple months and get a huge following. I've been doing it pretty consistently for almost 4 or 5 months now, daily, and I'm just now getting to a point to where I'm getting some videos that get 3,000-5,000 consistently. And not all of them do. Still, there's some that they stop at like 350, 400. So I try to just take it day to day, and who knows where it'll be 5 years from now,
Yep, that's true, man. It's consistency is key. Mm-hmm. Big on that for sure. What about some, let's go market for a minute. And then I was going to ask you about struggles, but I think that maybe some of those will kind of go hand in hand, just depending on what direction you want to take and field in that, because obviously forever changing. But yeah, some of the struggles that you're seeing as an agent, currently, if any.
Man, earlier this year it was when the interest spiked to 7%. When it's pretty crazy to see it go from 3 and then more than double to 7. Like that scared the shit out of a lot of people. And I think once everybody got over that initial shock factor, interest came back down. I think I had a closing last week where my buyer locked in at 6.1, which historically that's completely normal. Like that's not bad. I think people got kind of spoiled with these 3% rates, and like I said, there's an initial shock factor, and then people realize, well, we got to live somewhere, or people are always going to have to do something, no matter what the market looks like. Look at the early '80s, interest got to 12% or whatever it was. People were still buying and selling, and prices did not go down.
Yeah.
People get so scared of the market and caught up in the clickbait and the scary headlines. But man, I mean, real estate is resilient. So
That is true. Yep, I buy that all day long. What about maybe some tough stuff? Maybe not just in the most recent future, but maybe like a new agent starting out because you're 7 years in the game. Like struggles and stuff that you've hit in your career along the way, right? And how'd you figure it out?
along the way, man, the first thing I really noticed was I would have like a month where I closed 3 or 4, and then like I'm talking my first year. 2017 was like my official first year.
Okay.
So I would have like a month where I'd close 2, 3, 4, and then I'd not close anything for a month or two, and then I'd have a month where I closed 2, 3, 4, and I felt like I was running a sprint that whole first year. So it took me a little while to learn, like, hey, dude, just be consistent daily. Don't feel like you have to do everything today. Just be consistent. It's a marathon. It's not a race.
Yeah, that's great sound advice.
Yeah. So I wish I would have if I could go back and tell my 2017 self what to do, I would say hop on social media now. And that was really before reels and stuff were a thing, but get on now, be consistent from the jump. And I don't care what business you're in. If you have your own business or a side hustle or whatever it is, there's no reason not to be on there. It's free.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I would just say that. And then, people just assume that whenever they get in this business, all their friends are going to use them, all their family's going to use them. And you'll learn real quick, you hop on Facebook and someone you're pretty good friends with has their house listed with someone else. And dude, it used to piss me off, Now you just realize there's enough to go around for everybody. If you're doing what you got to do every day and doing what you need to do, I let that kind of roll off my back now. But I would just say if you're new in the business and that happens to you, don't take it personal. Don't go, why didn't you use me? No one wants to hear that. Like, it's awkward. So just go get the next one and make yourself undeniable to where it's like everybody feels like, man, how can we not go with this guy? So that's kind of the way I see it.
No, I mean it makes perfect sense. Yeah, I mean you want to take the high road all the time, and
Yep, all the time.
Don't ever bring negative energy to anybody because I mean. You can take bad to worst. It's a friend, by the way, that you're approaching and say, look, what's up? Why didn't you use me? And now like you said, that awkward situation, that's leaving a bad taste. That's not going to make them want to come back and use you later. So
absolutely,
it's the little small corrections in the way you are communicating that make a big difference.
Yep.
All right, commercial, man. You're talking about before the show. Okay, you trying to get into commercials? Or have you already done some commercial stuff?
I've done some commercial. Storage facility I did over in South Houston a couple years back. I've done some basic like warehouses, which yes, they are commercial, but they're not any different than selling a house really. Like the only time it's different is when the numbers are involved. So say if you're selling a property with a tenant in it, like say if you're selling a warehouse with an automotive shop, like you got to be able to know the financials and see like, okay, if this person buys this, what's the return on their money going to be? That's that's literally what commercial runs on, the cap rate. I mean, do the numbers make sense or not? So I'm really working on getting kind of more in depth in that and like getting educated. I'm taking some commercial certifications, the TACS, Texas Accredited Commercial Specialist. I'm enrolled in April for that one.
Okay.
It's like 3 classes. So I just want to kind of dive more into that. Not that I don't love residential and I'll always still do residential, but I kind of like the aspect of commercial where if the numbers make sense, let's do this. And if not, let's move on. Because residential can sometimes get a little bit emotional. And I understand, dude, it's a huge investment for people. But I've always liked numbers and math, and my brain kind of works that way. So it's just something that I'm kind of realizing now appeals to me. And I'm at a point in my career where I want to just try different stuff now. I don't want to just keep doing this forever.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, you end up feeling like you're on a hamster wheel, and where's the fun in that? You start losing your luster for, you got to have the passion.
Yeah.
Man. So is that the way you just described it? Like, okay, so you got your residential as your core, but then with the commercial opportunities that, for new people, but is that also something that you can go back and ask these, like the people that you've worked with, like, your database, would this be a good investment opportunity for you type of thing?
I mean, I don't really have anybody that I can kind of like lean on per se. Like in my office, I'm like the people like say, "Hey, I know you do a lot of commercial," and it's like I really don't do a lot of commercial. I do less than, probably 5% of my deals are commercial. So I don't act like I have like all the answers, and I'll tell them like, "Man, I don't do as much as y'all think I do, but I'm working on it." And that's why I wanted to get into those classes, was because I don't really have anyone that I can call and be like, "Hey, here's my situation. What do you think?" And I need to dive in, man. If I got to get in there and figure it out one way or another.
Yep.
So this is what I'm trying right now.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Tell people how they can get a hold of you if anybody has any questions or wants to collaborate or have a conversation with Blake.
Yeah, man. The best way to get a hold of me is Instagram. It's at Blake Baker Real Estate, all one word. Shoot me a DM. My number's in my bio if you want to text me. Text and Instagram are probably the two best ways. Facebook is just Blake Baker Realtor. And YouTube is Blake Baker. If you just search Blake Baker Realtor on YouTube, you'll see hopefully a lot of my podcast episodes and a lot of my shorts. So, yeah.
Check him out. A couple more questions before we get out of here and wrap this thing up. What's your favorite book or most recent book you read?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a huge reader.
All right, podcast, Audible. You mentioned Joe Rogan. Who do you like? Who do you check out?
Podcasts. I love Joe Rogan. The Jordan Belfort podcast is actually pretty interesting. I mean, that guy was like kind of a criminal, but he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He knows money and stuff. Yeah, the Buffini podcast is good. Yeah, I do most of my digesting of information, I would say, on like YouTube.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of food? Restaurant in town.
Man, probably we go eat at Masa Sushi. We're down in Dickinson. We eat there every single Friday. I would say sushi's my favorite.
Yeah. That sounds good, man. Making me hungry.
Yeah.
What about favorite band, artist, or musical genre?
Favorite band, I would have to say Parkway Drive. I'm kind of a metalhead.
Okay.
So I actually just saw them live this last weekend.
No way.
Yeah, they're from Australia, so it was pretty cool that they came over here and they're touring the U.S.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
But yeah, I kind of listen to a little bit of everything, man, from, metal to old country from like the 50s and 60s. That's what I was kind of raised on. I would hang out with my grandpa all the time, and that's all he listened to. So I grew up listening to that.
Yeah, that's a hodgepodge.
Dude, Future, like rap, pretty much. Some of it's exhausting, but,
yeah,
I'll kind of vibe out to it sometimes. But
yeah, that makes sense. I got it. Dream vacay.
Dream vacay, probably Barcelona. I would love to go to Barcelona. I'm a huge soccer fan, so
Yeah.
I would love to go to either Madrid or Barcelona and watch a game. That'd be
epic.
Epic for sure.
Dream car.
Dream car, probably probably would have to go with a Lamborghini Huracan or a Porsche 911 Turbo or GT3.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Best advice you ever got, and who gave it to you?
Best advice I ever got. This is kind of funny. I mean, I don't know, like general life advice. I can't think of anything. But real estate, very simple, 3 words: list to last.
Okay.
So, a lot of people come in the business and they work with all buyers, and they join a team and they only are allowed to work with buyers. I think that's not the way to go, and I'll tell you why. You list a property. You have a sign in a yard, which is an advertisement for you. People scroll on HAR, Zillow, and they see your name under the listing. Mm-hmm. It helps kind of put your name out there to the public, and then everybody shows the property for you. When you're working with buyers, and I work with a lot of buyers, and I enjoy it, but it's, there's the Sundays where they want to go look at properties and all that. If you have mostly listings, you can make a lot more money more efficiently. You can get your career kind of
Yeah.
jump started, and it's a lot more efficient. I will always work with buyers. Like, that's part of my job. That's what I do. But I have always kind of been more listing heavy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. List to last. You said 3 words. I thought you were going to say location, location, location.
Made in America. 2 words, made in America.
Yeah, I love it. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here? I've had a blast having you on, man. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, dude. No, I appreciate you having me, and I've been looking forward to do this. Like I was saying, I never really get to do other people's podcasts, so it's kind of cool being on the other side of the deal. And now you got to come do mine, though.
Yep, done. Yeah, that's happening for sure.
Yeah.
Well, guys, check them out, connect, and we thank you for checking us out. We drop a show once a week or more often than that. And if you got any value, give us a like, subscribe. And we'll see you at the next Disruption Nation event. And again, our whole purpose is highlighting and showcasing people that are, best tips and tricks, best practices. And we'd love to have a conversation with you. So send me a DM if you're interested in being on the show or know somebody that you think needs to be on the show to get better connected to, help boost their business, because that is what we do. All right, from Blake and Taylor, Disruption Nation, we appreciate you. Be great. We'll see you on the other side.